Okay, checking audio for YouTube. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, hey.
Are you talking this like that?
Check, check. Hey, hey. 1, 2. Check, check. Hey, hey. 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. Turn. Check, 1, 2.
Test, test. Okay, good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming. Welcome to the City of Delafield Common Council meeting for March 2nd, 2026, coming to order at 7 p.m. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Molly, roll call, please.
Sure thing. Alderperson Henry?
Here.
Alderperson Schaefer?
Here.
Alderperson Valdy?
Here.
Alderperson Wilkin?
Here.
Alderperson Laughlin?
Here.
And then Alderperson Pevin and Alderperson Price are excused.
And the mayor's here, too.
Oh, Mayor Iker
Present.
and Administrator Hafner.
Here.
Okay, thank you, Molly. We're going to go right into item 4, which it's unfortunate that it has to have occurred, but it's just wonderful outcome, and we've got two little heroes here. So with that, I'll turn it over to Chief Landon for a special order of business.
All right, thank you very much, Mayor. I'd like to invite up the Reardon family. All right, thank you all for being here. It's my honor to present these two young heroes, as the mayor said, with a letter of commendation award from our department. Specifically for, on the evening of January 21st, 2026, an EMS call was received for a medical emergency at a residence in the city of Delafield. The 911 call was placed by two juveniles, aged 6 and 8, Anne-Marie and Everett Reardon. They reported that their grandfather, whom they were with, was feeling dizzy and was not responding in a normal manner. Despite their young age and stressful circumstances, Anne-Marie and Everett remained calm throughout the incident. They were able to clearly communicate their location to the dispatcher, allowing the Waukesha County Communications Center to accurately locate the residents. Upon arrival of emergency responders, both children immediately came out to the roadway to flag down responders and quickly directed them to where their grandfather was inside the residence. The children had also contacted their mother, who was able to provide critical medical information to first responders. Their grandfather was found to be in and out of consciousness. An assessment by Lake Country Fire and Rescue determined that it was a life-threatening situation. Anne-Marie and Everett's actions demonstrated exceptional awareness, composure, and responsibility for their age. By promptly calling 911, providing accurate information, guiding responders, and assisting in relaying critical medical details, they played a vital role in the emergency response. Their actions significantly contributed to the timely medical care their grandfather received and reflect highly on their character and presence of mind during a serious medical emergency. Anne-Marie and Everett should be incredibly proud of themselves. Their families should also be proud for providing them with the knowledge and confidence to perform such important acts. It's my honor to present these letters of commendation and a City of Delafield Police Department challenge coin on behalf of the Delafield Police Department to Anne-Marie and Everett Reardon. Thank you so much. I also want to point out that we're joined by the dispatcher from Waukesha County Communications Center that was there to answer the call that night. We had several members of the fire department here, but we do have additional members of Lake Country Fire and Rescue that are here to join us tonight, as well as members of my police department. Unfortunately, the officer that was there that night wasn't able to make it tonight, but thank you two so much. It is really a team effort, but that team can't come together without kids like you to help us out. Thank you.
Great job. All right, good work. Every now and then we do have fun things to do here at the council. So we'll go on with the other business. You can take your time and join us for the rest of the meeting if you want, or get on with your evening. Okay, I guess so. Heroes need sleep. Thank you all. We'll give you a second. Okay, now on to the more mundane. How about approval for the minutes from our last meeting on February 16th?
I move to approve the minutes of our February 16th meeting as presented.
I'm going to stop for just a second on that. So the first was Schaefer, the second with Wilkin, but I did want to add that I did have a request from one of the other persons pointing out that item 8B, the last line notes approval of a pole bar, and it was a pole barn. So we'll make that correction to the minutes.
So
Okay.
with that
So-
correction, we're still
So
good?
moved with
Okay.
that correction.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Okay, minutes are passed. So then on to City of Delafield citizens' comments. Would anybody wish to comment on anything on or off the agenda? Yes, sir. Please come up to the microphone and just press the bottom bar. And then name and address. Yeah, just tap it once. There you go.
My name is Jim Larson. I and my wife Barney live at 1511 2nd Street and have lived there for the last 8 years. My decision to come tonight actually is a result of having conversations today with both the police department and the DPW regarding the parking restrictions, or at least that I thought existed, at the corner of Milwaukee Street and 2nd Street. That particular part of 2nd Street is about as narrow a highway as you can find anywhere in Delafield. And up till about a month ago, or actually in February, there was a sign posted there that said parking, no parking at any time. And it kept cars from parking right close to Milwaukee Street. The gentleman that lives on the corner has a car that he parks. In the summertime, he parks in the street a little bit, but in the wintertime, it's always on his property, his apron. The snowplow has no trouble. But now the sign disappeared. The post is still there. And I thought, well, someone mischievously has taken the sign down. I was wrong. It was DPW that took it down because they didn't have any documentation to prove that it was ever approved. They thought the sign was put up privately. So that was a real kind of a different approach. But my concern is that it's really an accident waiting to happen. Because what happens now when people park, and I think it's more for fish bones than anything else, they park really close to Milwaukee Street. And it can be an SUV or it can be, but sometimes it's 2 or 3 cars parked, and it comes halfway up not halfway up the hill, but more than a couple feet off of Milwaukee Street. So what happens when I leave 2nd Street, I come down to the bottom of the hill wanting to go. If I'm going south, I always come down 2nd Street. If I'm going north, I sometimes will go up to 1st Street and get on at Milwaukee or Main Street. But what happens now when those cars are parked there, the lane is gone. And twice I've come down there and I have to go into the other lane, the upcoming lane, in order to get close enough to the street where I can move onto Milwaukee Street. And lo and behold, twice cars have wanted to get on 2nd Street off of Milwaukee Street. There's no place to go. And, we've had occasions where we've had a member or a resident up until recently who has had a lot of medical problems, and EMS has been there twice a week usually. He is now in a home situation where his care center is taken care of, but it's still a concern for anybody, for any vehicle of any size to be able to get through. I don't think you could even get 3 small cars in that small space at any one time. And so what I'm asking is that maybe we review the possibility of establishing a legal restriction on parking for at least 25, 30 feet, so that when you come down the hill, you have a place to park to get out onto Milwaukee Street. Because now you park in order to wait, you have to be in the opposite lane. And a car coming off of Milwaukee onto 1st Street, onto 2nd Street, which isn't too often, it's a short street. But if you do want to make that.
We'll go into boards, committees, and commission reports, and I'd like to take Lake Country Fire and Rescue Board out of order since the chief's here. And as Chief Fenning comes up, I'll just give a quick overview. I did go to the meeting. There was a swearing-in ceremony prior to the board meeting where we swore in 2 new officers, firefighters and paramedics. Those are always fun. And there was cake too.
Always.
And then, so the board meeting, they went through some of I don't know, I can let you go through the data if you want. I mean, you gave a good report on the lack of brownouts for the last several months, and that doesn't look like they're gonna return to us, and that response times are continuing to improve. And then you had other updates on the water truck situation, so.
Sure, yeah.
Turn it over to you.
Yeah, and, you know, we do the monthly reports as they end up in everyone's packet and things like that. So that is true. We have not browned out since July, which is awesome. So you're seeing the natural decline in response times that are associated when those brownouts don't happen. And I think the city of Delafield has seen some great results in response times, most notably a couple of weeks ago, the fire on South Lapham Peak that was reported out. So that's all working well. I think the biggest update that I gave to the board, and it's kind of a special situation, is I'm sure everyone's aware that we had an incident with the water tender back on February 1st, and that vehicle was in an accident. That vehicle has been deemed a total loss by our insurance providers statewide. So we participate in the League of Wisconsin Municipalities Insurance Program. And it's, you know, like the city is and all of our other partners. So that's where we buy our insurance out of that pool from. The first 10 years of a vehicle's life, it's it's insured at replacement value. And the second 10 years of its life, it's replaced at appraised value. So the vehicle was 20 years old. So it was it's been deemed a total loss, and it's been basically, they've given us an appraisal, which will be their settlement. The unique part about it is that LCFR does not own that vehicle. It was purchased prior to the consolidation. It's owned by the Village of Wales and the town of Genesee. So pursuant, I'm sure we're all very well that there's some ambiguity in the intermunicipal agreement that we're working through. But the intermunicipal agreement is very clear on what happens in these situations when a vehicle is a total loss. And that is that the board, at the board's discretion, can hire a independent third-party appraiser to take care of that appraisal, and then as such has to reimburse the communities based on that appraisal. Statewide did that legwork for us, so they hired an appraiser to take care of that. We have reviewed that appraisal with the vehicle's owners. They've accepted the appraisal value of the vehicle, and we're closing that chapter, if you will. So it is kind of out of our normal circumstance and normal board thing, so I thought I'd just present on it here, see if there are any questions for myself or anything that I can answer for anyone.
I'll ask a question that was answered in the meeting, so people that maybe watching can hear it. It puts us one water tender down, and then I know the board's going to be looking at it at their next meeting as far as how to strategize to leave in, or whatever, interleave in another replacement vehicle in the future, and how that's going to be done with the capital budgets and such, right? I mean.
Yes, so there was an agenda item asked by the board to be placed on our next board meeting, which is in April, and where we will be talking about the replacement of that vehicle. The vehicle, like I said, is a 20-year-old vehicle. Traditionally, fire engines and ladder trucks and things like that we keep for 20 years. However, given the low mileage on the tenders, I was trying to get 25 out of them to maximize the value out of them. However, that is proving to become a lot of work because what we're running into is leaks in the tanks. So the particular vehicle that was a total loss, the tank had been out of that vehicle twice, and when the tanks come out of the vehicles, it's out of service for 3 to 4 months because it has to go and get repaired, get shipped out, come back, we have to reinstall it, and it's quite the process. So the board's kind of going to look at all options with what to do with these vehicles moving forward. But you know, they were supposed to be replaced in 2031 as on the 25-year replacement schedule. Obviously, this one will have to get bumped up. But looking at what we do with the other one. The third tender that we have in our fleet is actually owned solely by the city of Delafield. It is a 1997 Peterbilt tender. So when tender 37 was placed out of service, that was the hot backup. It went down to Wales, and a week and a half ago, it was responding to a structure fire in another community, and the front of the tank had a catastrophic failure to it. It was a unique challenge because it's pouring water all over the roadway and it's cold out right now. It is, just, again, we're kind of having to look at that system, and maybe 25 years is not going to be the mark that we hit. So we're trying to take a holistic look at it, and what can we do better?
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Chief, over here.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Have you had a chance to get your mind wrapped around what the lead time is when we get whatever we have to get?
Yep.
To replace it? What's that look like?
So there are, like, manufacturer that we deal with for fire trucks is Pierce. Obviously, we go through the bidding process and everything involved with that, but Pierce is kind of our preferred vendor. So they have what they define as stock trucks that are coming down their manufacturing line that are for these types of incidents. So we did, there was a stock truck that we could have potentially gotten as early as May of this year. We have a fire operations committee that looks at our fire operations on a monthly basis and hones in policies and procedures, vehicle placement, dispatch things. They have a pretty intense 3 to 4 hour meeting once a month to make sure that what we're doing is great and that what we can improve on. So I had sent this to that committee to work on in urgent nature, and it was their top priority at the last meeting. The 2 trucks that the dealer provided me with, basically, they'd fit about 60% of our need, and the water tender is a very basic operation. However, we do a procedure, a policy called a rural water hitch, because we don't have hydrants in all of our area. And that rural water hitch consists of the first engine in getting and taking, we call it take the driveway, where they go up and drive up the long driveway. And when they drive up that driveway, they leave a piece of LDH hose, so 5-inch hose at the end of that driveway. And the tender gets there, hooks into that, and immediately supplies that engine with the first 3,000 gallons of water that are on that tender and the 1,000 gallons of water that are on the truck. The philosophy is if we're not gonna put it out with the first 4,000 gallons, we're gonna be there a long time, and it's gonna need to be a more thorough type operation. But based on that very basic yet complex thing that we do, the 2 tenders that were provided in the stock program would not fit the need. And it is a bread and butter operation that we do. The staff has perfected it. So it's a necessity that whatever we purchase in the future can fit that need. So long way of telling you that those stock trucks weren't going to work for us. We have the opportunity, if we move in April or May, like we're talking about, where we will potentially be able to get one in January. So we're not waiting 3 to 4 years. But it would be first quarter of next year that we're looking at with them.
So does that leave us with a particularly big risk exposure that maybe we should see if we can find something with lease or something in the short term?
No, I don't think so. I think we're going to get the current tender 42 fixed up and we'll be okay. We've been really down a tender for the last, one tender's been down because of these tank issues for quite a long time. So we've been able to get through it. It's not ideal, but we'll make it work.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for Chief?
No, thanks, Matt.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Of course. All right, so now we'll go back to 8A, licenses. Anything to report? No licenses. All right, Plan Commission, Alderperson Wilkin.
Plan Commission met last Wednesday. We approved business plan of operation for the T-Mobile, basically just part of that U.S. Cellular T-Mobile conversion package hit us locally. We also approved a plan of operation for Mahler Southby's International Realty Company. They're right over here at Oneida and Wells, so right around the corner. We also approved a business plan of operation for Iron Tech, which is a wellness operation. We had a public hearing for Divine Redeemer Lutheran Church. I think I mentioned at the last meeting that they wanted to spread out a pile of dirt that they have in their backyard, and so we had a public hearing and got feedback on that, and then we proceeded to give them a conditional use subject to a number of conditions. Otherwise, not much going on. We talked with Rustic Manor. Their conditional use currently includes a bed and breakfast operation, which requires the owners of the property to live there. They're selling that to a new owner, and the new owner lives in Sun Prairie and is not interested in full-time residence at the facility, and so they're converting it from a bed and breakfast to a different conditional use, which is a lot like a bed and breakfast, except that the person doesn't have to be there. And then lastly, St. Michael's Anglican Church came in, and they are in the initial stages of building a large building in the back of their property. They have a lot of empty space back there, and they want to fill it up a little bit.
I'll amend that and say large is relative, Dirk. It's a 3,000 square foot, almost like a little ranch home, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when we say large buildings around here, that means a lot of different things.
It's not the grain.
It's gonna be tucked away, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That'll be all.
All right, thanks a lot. Okay, on to Lake Welfare Committee. Alderperson Price is not here tonight. D, Park and Rec Commission Tree Board.
We had our special guests, the Recreation Director and Parks Lead from Heartland, join us for our meeting. We like to do that once in a while because, as you know, we have a great partnership with them. They create a lot of recreation programs that our citizens can take advantage of at a discounted rate, and we provide use of our facilities for a lot of those programs. And we were just looking for new ways for the two communities to work together on their parks, share ideas and recreation programs. And one of those I want to mention is coming up. Our annual fishing clinic for kids is May 16th this year at the Fish Hatchery.
And you can show up and you don't need to bring rod and reel, just bring a kid that's eager to learn how to fish.
Yep, great for kids and their parents.
All right, great, thanks, Mark. E, Public Works Committee. George is out today. Tom, is there anything of note that you wanted to mention? Was there a meeting?
I'm drawing a blank right now. We have a meeting this week.
There you
How
go,
about
so
that?
there couldn't have been one.
Yeah,
All right.
meeting in 2 days, Wednesday night.
All right, thanks. Delhart Commission, there's not been a meeting since our last meeting here. Police Commission,
No meeting, no report.
all right. Library Board,
We did have a meeting on February 19th, but I was unable to attend, so I will refer you to the minutes.
all right. Zoning Board of Appeals,
No meeting, no
Nada?
report.
okay. Lake Country Fire and Rescue Commission did not meet. We just got our Lake Country Fire and Rescue Board update earlier. Deer Management Committee,
No meeting, no report. At our next meeting, I will be able to give you an update on the deer harvest for the season.
okay. I skipped promotional tourism, sorry, Jack.
That's
Item J, promotional and tourism.
No problem. We haven't had a meeting since our last common council meeting. Our next meeting is next Tuesday, March 10th, 7:30, right here.
All right, thank you. Unfinished business. This is an item that Alderperson Price brought up, so since he's not here, we're going to give him the benefit to present this when he does come back. Mayor's report, gave a little bit of it earlier. I was at the swearing in for the new firefighter paramedics. And the other thing I'll just mention, happened to stumble into it because I needed new eyeglasses, so I was at Eye Candy, and they had, on Saturday, they had the Chamber of Commerce event for, they called Chasing the Winter Blues Away. And everyone was dressed up with like tropical wear, and they're giving, and it was ironic because we got the 3 inches of snow in about 45 minutes late in the day. But they weren't really that busy, so, you know, next time you get a chance, shop local downtown, they gotta make up for that. So, number 11, new business. Discussion and possible action for renewal of our cityofdelafield.com domain. Who owns this one?
That is me. So the IT company reached out regarding the fact that the domain name cityofdelafield.com would be expiring April 1st. I didn't even really know we had it because we don't use it for anything. However, I do think that for the price point to renew it in order to ensure that another party doesn't take the domain and use it for scams, for the 9-year renewal at $140.40 is certainly worth it, given the atmosphere right now and all of the scams that are coming out. So my recommendation would be for the council to renew that domain for the 9 years at $140.40.
I noticed that redirects to the correct site. If somebody goes there by mistake, it's automatically redirected to the city of Delafield.
The cityofdelafield.com one does?
Currently it does.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
So that's a nice reason to have it too. If somebody gets there by mistake, they automatically get redirected to the right place for $20 a year. I would move to, any suggestions on how long you think we should keep that?
I suggested the 9 years for the price range. It
Go for
just
the whole
seems
9
like a
years.
no-brainer.
Yeah, I would move to renew for 9 years.
I second.
Any more discussion?
I'll add one thing. I don't know if it fits this motion or it's a side topic, but I presume that when that domain was purchased was before .net domains existed, and I think it would be wise for the city to also obtain the .net for the same reason, if it's not already owned by somebody.
We can take that in the future request for future agenda
Okay.
items.
Okay, no, nothing further.
Yeah, and to just elaborate a little bit more, we've had a couple instances, I know at City Hall, where somebody's generating invoices for active Plan Commission participants and applications, and they look somewhat genuine, so killing the ability for someone to link to a fake email account or domain account that looked like us would help us against that too, so.
This is fundamentally lesson 101 in cybersecurity protection for our citizens because of the extent of phishing that takes place, especially for elderly citizens who aren't very savvy about this kind of stuff. They'll just get burned. I think it's just wise for us to protect them and to protect ourselves against goofiness that we have to deal with.
All right. We're killing this fly with a mallet. Any other comments? Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Okay, we own the domain. Item 11B, approval of the vouchers list.
I move
Aye.
to approve the vouchers for the period 2/18 to 3/3 and from 1/1 to 2/28.
I'll second.
Any discussion or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Or abstentions? Okay, vouchers are approved. Report of city officials. City Administrator, Tom.
Just two things for you this evening. First of all, on your agenda, you can see that we do have a Lake Country Fire and Rescue Administrators Meeting tomorrow morning. This is a public meeting, so it's open to all to attend. It's at 10 o'clock at the fire department. And the municipal leaders have asked the administrators to work through a list of kind of minor issues remaining to finalize a intermunicipal agreement amendment. So we'll be going over that tomorrow. And then the other thing is a bit of bad news. Last week, Thursday, we had our bid opening for the City Hall Stairs project, and we received 0 bids. And state law doesn't provide for any other path besides rebidding it until you receive bids. I will be contacting lots of contractors to understand what's going on. When we did that last time, we were told that if we bid this time of year, that their schedules would be open and they'd be much more willing to bid. So we'll be pursuing that and looking to schedule a rebidding of that project.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Molly, City Clerk.
Yep, just another election update. As a reminder, the election is April 7th. The polling location is here at City Hall. The polling hours on polling day are 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. First round of absentee ballots will be mailed March 17th. In-person absentee hours, office hours from March 24th to April 3rd. We also have added in Saturday, March 28th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Just a reminder to everybody out there listening that it is a very short turnaround for absentee ballots. So my suggestion is to request ballots via myvote.wi.gov as soon as possible. That way you'll be on the first round for mailing. If you're a snowbird going to be out of town, have them mailed to where you're going to be absentee ballots do not forward, they will get sent back to me, and we will continue to play mail tag until perhaps you can get them. So it's really important for anybody who is a snowbird who is requesting those ballots to be mailed, that they're ensuring that every step of the way down the line through all of the post offices that their mail is going to be going through, that they're aware, that those post offices are aware of that fact that they're supposed to be receiving mail at that new location. So this one tends to be the most challenging for people to receive ballots. So the earlier the better, and the more opportunity that we have to get them back.
All right, thanks, Molly. City Treasurer, the report's in the packet. Any requests for future agenda items other than what might just be a very minor thing, and that's looking into the different domains that we might want to cover? If anything comes up, obviously just reach out to Molly or Tom. Correspondence in the packet, and then seeing no further business, we are now adjourned at 7:32. Thank you.